There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Hello, I'm SolarLune. I'm an independent game developer and musician and artist and stuff. It's been a while since I last streamed. Sorry about that, but hello. Hello and welcome to anyone who is still watching my channel. Yeah, so anyway, I'm an independent game developer. I'm the creator of Master Plan. I'm the creator of Tetra3D. uh, with Tetra3D being a 3D renderer essentially that uses Abby and it's written in Go. Um, and I'm making this game with it. It's called Airdrift. So yeah, it's been a while since I last posted or streamed. Sorry about that. The last time I streamed, or last week rather, I wasn't really able to stream because the time was a little weird. Like my schedule was a little bit off. But I'll see if I can keep streaming and kind of get back into it. So between the last time I streamed and today, I added spikes. Yeah, you can see these little spikes that basically hurt you when you drive over them, and if you lose all your health, then you restart. Yeah, pretty simple. Last stream we worked on. Last stream we worked on these rails, this rail system, which works pretty well. Gets you where you need to go, which is good. And yeah, so far this is really good. It's good kind of practice to kind of get used to. For example, what am I trying to say? Like this is good practice to get used to. What am I trying to say? Basically, this is good because it allows me to try out like collision detection and all that stuff and see how it's performing and things like that. So yeah, this is going well. This is sitting at like 2 to 3 milliseconds render time and like 1 millisecond logic. That includes collision detection, which is not bad. Obviously, I would like a more performant rendering and more performant collision detection. But this isn't bad for a continual work in progress. Maybe I can make it even faster. We'll see. But yeah, so far this is going pretty well. It looks pretty good. Like if you looked at this, you might not be able to tell that it's a homemade renderer. You might not be able to tell that perspective corrected texture mapping isn't implemented. Like you can tell a little bit if you look at the lines of the sidewalk texture, the sidewalk like squares. You could kind of tell like it looks a little off, but I think overall like you might not be able to tell, which I think is a pretty good thing. That this you might think like, oh, was this made in Unity? And it's like, hey, the fact that you couldn't tell is it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Um, what will we do today? I don't know. I think that today it might be good to work on some art because I feel like it's been a while since I did some art on stream, and also I have to finish the animations for the character, for the player character. Um, well, you know what? No, I don't want to get caught up in that again of like working on things that aren't important. I want to work on important things. So let's not work on art. Instead, let's work on core game mechanics. So the core idea of the game is basically you have to gather all of the gold, and it's kind of like Pac-Man, but it's not just a maze. It's more of a like platforming challenge, platforming environment. So with that in mind, I guess it will be similar to the previous game idea I had, or one of the previous game ideas I had, where basically you try to get all the gold and then you try to get out of the level, right? Uh, so we'll do that. We'll implement that. We'll make it some sort of teleportation system or something where you can once you get all the gold, the teleporter opens. You can go into the teleporter and then get out. We can also get some music in the game. We'll do that as well, I guess, because I have some music that I think I was going to use. Let me see. Let me take a look here. I kind of feel like I had some music that I wanted to, as I recall. Let me see. Did I? Is this? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, that's coming through. I'll raise up the volume a little bit. Oh, oops. Okay, so yeah, I have a couple of songs here. This is a smooth song. So I have a few songs here. I like that. I like that a lot. So I have a few songs. So I'm gonna probably take one of these and export it as a WAV file, and then get that into the game. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Horrible. Average. Average. Okay, so let's take one of these, like 3, I guess. Either this one. Yeah. All right, let's go with this. All right, so while I was exporting, it's exporting to my documents folder. We will also get ready to go with the music. So the way that this is going to work is, I guess, let me see if I can pull up Blender here. See if that loads. It's gonna load. There it goes. It's bright. I'm gonna change the theme because I know how people feel about about bright themes. There we go. And then also, yeah, I think that's it. Okay. This should be usable now. All right, so let's go into here. This is finished exporting. Okay, we're good. We will close this. We don't need to save it. That's fine. Let's see. Let me move the song over. There we go. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to do this a couple. Well, there's a couple ways we could do this. Firstly, I suppose, and also I've been ignoring chat. Sorry. Ririn says, "Bro, why are you streaming in my country when it's 3 a.m.?" Sorry, man. It's just that's just the way time works, dude. I apologize. So the way that this is set up, I have this scene that is essentially my level, and this is essentially going to be a test level. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it in practice. There's a couple ways I could do it, where, for example, each scene in Blender is a level in the game, or maybe each like square in Blender is a level. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to assume just for now that each scene is a level. It might be good if we had the ability to set properties on the scene like you can objects, because then we could, for example, say that this scene has a BGM property, and that we could set the BGM to be like, the name of the song we want to play, and then it's accessible wherever we are. It doesn't matter where we're clicking or what we're doing. We could always go to this tab, the scene properties tab, and then go here, and it would have a drop down like this, the Tetra3D object properties. It would have this kind of a thing with none of this stuff except for the properties section here. So that might be a good idea. I can see the utility of that, and I feel like that would be cool to add. I just suddenly stopped my train of thought by going, but my brain is thinking. I'm thinking like the alternative is you can just make an object and then refer to the object, right? You can like make a system object, a cube in the in space or whatever, and just put the object properties on that, and then there you go. But I kind of feel like, well, yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine. We don't need to make it more complicated than it needs to be. I mean, like, it would be cool though. You could go here. You could go to the properties drop down. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, okay. Well. Let's not get overly complicated. Let's not make it too much more than it needs to be. Although that would be cool. So you put it here. It wouldn't even be that much extra code. It's just, do I want to have it in the game? Do I want to have it in Tetra3D? There's not really any advantage to doing it, to adding this extra code. So I can't really, I don't really feel like it's necessary. So we'll not add it. We won't add it. Okay, so we'll go to test level here. We're gonna make a cube. You know what? I don't like this idea. Oh, now, okay. Here's a reason not to do it this way, because in Blender you can't have two objects that have the same name. So, for example, this is a cube, this is another cube. They can't both have the name cube. If we make another scene entirely and we add a cube, it won't have the name cube. It has the name cube.005. You can't have an object named cube as an example in every scene. In every scene, you can have a cube, but they will all have unique names. So with that being the case, if we have our test level and we have some sort of system object, we can't have that same system object be named system in another level. So that it might be worth it to just make it simple, to basically allow you to specify the scene properties here. So we'll do that. We'll add that capability here. We're gonna go to the Tetra3D. Whoops. Tetra3D project here. I'm gonna get some music going. Quit out Spotify. Get some streaming friendly, aka my own music. Let's go with yeah, let's go with this. It's gonna be a little loud. Let me turn it down. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so what we're gonna do is, there's an error here. There we go. what we're going to do is we're going to go to Tetra3D.py. We're going to go to this entire setup and figure out how we do this. So let's see, properties. We'd have to have different ones for different like sections, so different types of objects. Let me think, hold on. Well, since you can't... Yeah, well, we would have to do a couple of these. All right, let's just mock it up real quick and see how this would kind of work. So we're just gonna copy all of this. This is instead going to be... Oops. What did I do? That's the original. Okay, so this is gonna be scene. This object is the same. Kind of that scene is not none. We don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need these. Yeah. So then here is going to be scene dot instead of object dot. Is that scene dot? Okay. Oh, right. Add. Hold on. Let me see where are the options here. Add, overwrite, and clear. Oh, I see. So you can do like that. Overwrite, then gets applied to all. So because you can't. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it simple because I can't imagine a situation where you'd want to copy game properties from one scene. You can't select multiple scenes firstly, so you can't copy game properties from one scene to another. And I can't imagine a situation where you'd want to copy properties from a scene to objects, or vice versa for that matter. So I'm going to just have add game property. Reordering could be useful, so we'll have that in here. Copying is not necessary. Is that true? Let's see. So reordering, copying is, yeah, you're not really gonna copy to all the other selected objects. Yeah, no. Deleting is gonna be there though. So copy is not gonna be there. Deleting is logical. Okay. Let's see, prop and prop.value type. Oh, I see how I do this. Okay. You know what? I'm going to make this a function to make it simple. Handle prop. Something like this. Something like that. Boom. And where did prop come from? Or index prop in enumerate. Oh, okay, so that's the property. Okay, so it's gonna be row prop. Let's get that. There we go. So then we can come back over here to the original, remove all of this. We'll just say handle prop. There we go. Handle T3D property, handle 3D T3D property. All right, so that's good. And then we don't clear. Okay, so that's scene dot clear. Okay, clear all. That's fine. All right, so that's basically it. So we just need these 5 operators. So we'll do that now. So this. Wait, did I? Okay, so yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. All right, so that's that. No, we don't need to copy notepad to the clipboard. We don't need to copy, I don't think, right? Do we have copy? No, just reordering, deleting. One property, copy properties. Oh, that's copy 1. Overwrite. Let's copy. Yeah, okay. Copy prop. Reorder. Okay. So this one. Let's move up. Move up. Let's see. There we go. So scene, delete prop. I need one of these. Current scene, okay. Scene. I guess now that I think about it, we could just have one thing, one like, yeah, we could have one, like rather than having 2 delete property operators, we could have 1 delete property operator. And well, I'm thinking, because I feel like we could just have a variable that you set in here that basically changes what the operator does, much like we're doing with the index and move up. We could have that variable, have a variable for like, is it for the scene or an object? But the downside of that approach is that the description would be the same. Yeah, that's okay. We'll keep it separated for now. I'll just do it. Yeah. Index that scene. All right. So scene, add, remove, reordering, and that's kind of it, right? We don't need anything else. There was a 5th one, clear. Okay. And that's it. Okay. All right, so wasn't there a fifth one? Was it clear? Yeah, okay. There we go. All right, so that's basically it. So now we're just gonna copy this. Move, another thing. Move it down here. We can do something like that. Do this. Make these unregistered classes. Copy this. Put this here. All right. Whoops. Make this unregistered class. All right, and then lastly, I think we need to like register it so that like the properties get added to the, let's see, yeah, here we go. Something like that, I think, is what we need to do. That should kind of do it. Okay, I think we're good. And then GLTF prop. Okay, so this, I'll get a default. Ooh. Data map. Okay, so I think we can just copy this basically and move this down to where we instantiate the scene, which should be here. Okay. And data map is already here. Is this the same thing? Dot scenes 0. Oh, I see. Okay. Here we go. Okay, current world. All right, so this is, I think this is extras. This is the same as data maps, isn't it? Yes. Okay. So I think we can just probably just plop this down more or less. And then this would be scene. Scene doesn't have a tags instance, no? Okay. So then we're gonna do that too. All right, so something like that. Miss Pie says, "OMG, is that the SolarLune?" Yes. Hello. I'm adding scene properties so that you can have like game properties. Like you can currently have game properties for objects. I'm adding them for scenes so that you can go to a scene, the scene section, and then like change properties here. That's what I'm working on right now. If anyone's like, "What are you doing?" Let's change music. Let's get something else. Beautiful. Let's go with this. No, I'm not trying to be like it. My song is beautiful, but I personally find it beautiful. Like this should be tags like that. There we go. I guess can we just do it like this? We can. Let's do it like this. Yeah. All right. So that should kind of get us where we're trying to go. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. All right, it seems like, oh, scene properties is here, but it's here. It shouldn't be here. Okay, well that, yeah. All right, that all works. If I go to another scene, new scene, different set. Okay, that works. It's just in the wrong position. I think it's because actually we have this set to object like that. I think this should be probably scene. That might be the issue. Let's see. Not here. It's here now. Okay, that's kind of it. Test. Let's see if it works. Let's go to our levels and click on the scene section once it loads. Let me say like testing some x2. I want this to be a object. Rashad Z says, "What's up, Solar? Long time no see." Well, what's up? It has been indeed a long time, and it has been indeed no see. Yeah, hi. Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry for missing like the last week, but it's been my schedule was off and I was kind of busy. So fortunately, things should be kind of like clearing up, so I should be able to, you know, be more consistent moving forward. Yeah. All right, so something like this should work. We saved it. Let's see if it actually works correctly. We'll go to error drift here. Let's pull up levels.gtf, gltf rather. If this works, then we should have, okay, we have T3D collections, T3D worlds, current world. So this is, which scene is this? Assets, okay. This is Skybox Outdoor. Yo, here we go. Okay, so game properties is here on the test level. Then we have X2 and we have testing something out. Okay, so that's good. So if we check off the Boolean, save, testing something out, the value bool is 1. If we change it to float and make it like something else, 3.27, save. Value bool 1, that's fine. Value type is 2 now to indicate that it's a float. Okay, so if we set it back to bool, save, testing. Value bool is 1, value type is 0. Okay, so I think we're good. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal that it's saving like unnecessary data. That's not a big deal. Game Novice says, Ermagerd, am I late? Did I miss everything again? Also live linking? Tetra3D win. I'm not sure what that means, but you didn't miss everything. I just have been streaming for like 40 minutes or so. 40 minutes-ish. 35. We added game properties to the scene section. So now you can have like a global property for your entire scene. In this case, I'm going to be using it for specifying what like level, what background music to use. I would also like to add some sort of enum system, kind of similar to how LDTK does it. If you're not familiar with it, LDTK is a kind of modern tile-based level editor for games, for game frameworks mainly. Although you can use it for like Godot or GameMaker as well, probably Unity as well. But that's the primary, kind of application I would say is for engines or frameworks that don't have editors. So if it's an engine, it probably has an editor. If it's a framework, it probably doesn't have an editor for your levels. That's where LDTK comes in, and you can specify enums, which are basically like statuses that you kind of want to apply through your entire game. I kind of want something similar where I can, for example, specify a list of background music track names, and then here I can like specify for an individual scene. As an example, I can specify this to be like an enum type, and then like have a drop down where I can select one of the background songs. Like that just feels like it would be a cool feature to have. Game Novice says live linking, where you can have Blender and Tetra3D game running, and it editing the scene in Blender changes the scene at runtime. It does do that already. It's just it's live reloading. It's hot reloading. It's not live linking. So it doesn't do that, I guess, is the answer, the more accurate answer. It's not yes, but rather no, it doesn't. Like you can. Well, I'll show how it works. The current incarnation of this, like it just reloads the thing. Pattern assets can embed SFX. Contains no embeddable files. Well, that's fine. There's nothing in SFX. Let me see. Let's see. All right, well, I guess it's fine. I guess it's no big deal. I'll just delete the SFX folder. Because basically the problem I think that Go is having right now is I have in my assets folder for the game an SFX folder that's empty. It doesn't like that. It's just not... Well, let me see if I can fix it. Hold on. Okay, so I have to be assets. Resources. There it is. Can we say like... Okay, that did work, but it also took a long time. But maybe it was just rebuilding from scratch. I don't know. I don't see why it would take longer, but maybe I'm stupid. But yeah, here's how this currently works. So you can just, it's not like live linking, but it is hot reloading. So I can, for example, take the player, where's the player? There he is. I can take the player and move him over here, and then save it. It'll reload, and then the player's where I want him to be. So I mean, like, it's effectively the same thing. It's just not, like, it reloads the game, but it's kind of the same thing. You know, it allows you to easily and quickly move stuff around and... Whoops. Sorry, it's small. I don't know. Yeah, this would help. Alright, there we go. Give me some more room. Alright, there we go. Save. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but I mean, it works pretty well. Yeah. It's pretty close. It's not perfect, but I mean, the difference between live linking and hot reloading is so minimal, and the code to make hot reloading work is pretty small compared to live linking, where like we would have to be reading Blender's like memory, or you know, do some kind of differential code where it's like, you know, examine the new level with, you know, compare the new level versus the old level, and then instantiate the new changed objects versus the old objects and put them into the new level. You know, it's just not that necessary. It's just easier to just be like, the new level is new. Okay, well, destroy the game and just reload it, and it'll just pull in the new level. And it's effectively the same. I feel like live linking might be better in a game, you know, if your game takes a long time to load, like in Unity or Unreal. If it's like, oh yeah, you know, to load the game takes 10 seconds, then it's like, okay, maybe live linking, you know, is the right way to do it. But if your game is low poly and it takes, you know, 1 second to boot, like to restart or you know, start from scratch, then it's like, you know, hot reloading's fine. Rashad Z says, is Tetra3D still the same PS1 rendering engine, or has the direction changed? It's the same thing. It's the same engine. You know, the goal of Tetra3D was primarily to make low poly PS1 styled games. This is the same render. It's just pushing out a higher resolution render. So it was never really made to be PS1 only, or to like have hard limits. It was just Tetra3D was just kind of like, what's the word? Designed for PS1 games, because you can't do high poly and complex games with Tetra3D. It's too slow. So it's like, you know, if you can only render 10,000, 30,000 triangles at 60 FPS with Tetra3D, then it's like, well, what does that sound like? You know, at N64, at PS1, maybe PS2, that kind of, you know, relatively retro games, retro art styles, low poly art styles. But there's nothing about Tetra3D that's fundamentally made for PS1 games. The only thing that really kind of is made for PS1 games, or is kind of like made to imitate PS1 games graphically, is the non-perspective corrected texture mapping. But that is really something I probably should fix, because that would allow for just, you know, more general purpose usage. It's just something I haven't really gotten around to doing. But I think it should be possible. It's just I haven't done it. So in answer to your question, it's kind of like a PS1, you know, renderer, but it's not. I never really intended it to be only PS1, or for it to have limited utility. It was always supposed to be kind of like a general rendering tool that's just kind of mainly made for low poly rendering. But if you want to use it for rendering, you know, a non-low poly scene, or no non-low poly model or something, that's fine. It just has to be fast enough, which I don't think Tetra3D is for complicated scenes, but it's good enough for low poly scenes like this, where it's like, okay, this is fine. You know, this is running fine. Rashad Z says, so if I could make something stylistically like Virtua Fighter 2, I could do that. Let me take a look at it. I know I can, you know, visualize what Virtua Fighter 2 looks like. I just want to know what I'm looking at before I give you a response. I kind of want to see it in action, just to, again, like, know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, what you're talking about. The non-perspective corrected texture mapping is gonna give it a PS1 look and feel. But if you wanted something like this, I feel like this would be doable, yeah. Because I mean, well, that and the triangles aren't, like, the depth. The triangles that are rendered don't have, like, triangles that are rendered on the same object are either in front of or behind other triangles. They don't intersect. So you're gonna have PS1 rendering artifacts, PS1 style rendering artifacts. But if this was on the PS1, I don't remember, was Virtua Fighter, not Virtua Fighter 2, not this one, but this one is the Sega Saturn version. Was that ever ported to the PS1 after because the Dreamcast went down in 2002, right? So did they ever have a Virtua Fighter on the PlayStation 1? I guess not. That would have been the PS2 era. So, because I'm just, in any case, could you do something like this with Tetra3D? I think yes, it would look, you know, kind of different in terms of the way it renders, but I think you could hit something like that. If you mean something like the OG Virtua Fighter 2, I'm not sure if there's any on the Genesis. I'm not sure if that was really like 3D at all, except for the background. Let's see. Playthrough, video sources. Let's see. Come on, dude. Just play through it. I don't care. Okay. So the OG Virtua Fighter 2, I feel like it was 2D with some basic. Oh yeah, this is very basic 3D. If you're talking about this you could do this with just some planes, just to give some like really you could do this without Tetra3D at all. If you're talking about this, if you're talking about the Saturn version, you could do that with Tetra3D. I'm pretty sure, like it would be more like a Virtua Fighter for PS1 than a Virtua Fighter 2 for, you know, Saturn or anything like that. Although I'm not sure if the Saturn had perspective correct texture mapping. I don't know. I've never really looked into it. Okay, so after all that, the Game Novice says, what was the catalyst for you to start Tetra3D in the first place? Was this a game you were working on? Was this for a game you were working on? No, I just wanted to make something that allows you to do like chunky, janky 3D in Go. And over the course of like a year, I got it to here, where it's like, you know, you have Blender to kind of make it more like a editor. If you want to, you know, go kind of, you know, in kind of like a, you know, a 3D editor to make it easier to make the game or place things or configure things, but you don't have to use Blender. Tetra3D is just a renderer first and foremost. It has other things to make it easier for you to make a game with it, but it's not like you need those things to just show something on screen. You can just use Tetra3D to just show something on screen as well. And that might be useful if you have very minimal 3D usage, like for example, the spinning Eggman statue in Sonic Mania, in whichever zone that is, like 3 levels before the last, like the final boss. There's a part where you're running around, and I think you're like fighting Metal Sonic, and you're running around the Eggman statue. Let me see if I can find it. If I'm recalling, is it this one? Not sure if this is it. Does it start with? I don't think. Yeah, this is it. So like in this, you know, obviously, you know, Sonic Mania is a 2D game, but as you run around this stage specifically, the Eggman statue in the back rotates. It's a 3D model. So if you wanted a game like this where you have a 2D, you know, game, but you have very limited 3D, Tetra3D is it kind of is made for that kind of, for this kind of game, this kind of visualization. And I wonder if they did what I did. I kind of wonder if they made their own 3D rendering engine, like software 3D rendering engine using triangles for Sonic Mania. Because if you look at the back portion of the Eggman statue, you can see there's some Z fighting going on, or some, you know, rendering artifacts here, where the front side of the Eggman mustache shows up. Whoops. The front triangle, a few triangles from the front side of Eggman's mustache, the statue's mustache, shows up over the triangles that are on top. And so I'm wondering if they did the exact same thing I did, which is made, you know, Tetra3D, but I wonder if they made this for Sonic Mania, or, you know, a similar implementation, because you know, if you want to make a 2D game and then just have 1 or 2 3D things in it, it's unfortunate that you would have to like go with Unity or go with Unreal or something, you know, ahead of time, and then make your entire game in 2D in these 3D engines just so you can have a 3D part. Although, you know, that's how most engines nowadays work, right? They work with OpenGL, or really every engine works with OpenGL or Vulkan or whatever. It's drawing triangles. You know, you're not working with like true 2D usually. You're working with a 3D, a 2D representation of 3D objects. In any case, I just wanted to, I like this kind of like mixture of 2D and 3D. And I think it would be nice to be able to make a game in Ebbit engine now with Go, and have 3D if you want it. Like, you know, you should be able to have that option. You should be able to do that. And now you can do, you know, full 3D games with Go, with Ebbit engine. So I like that option. I like giving people that opportunity. Yeah. So what I want to do, I'm thinking about this enum system, because I feel like that would be cool to be able to like have a drop down for it. Although I'm not sure if I would be able to easily make that work. So that would have to be another set of like add, remove, move up and down controls for enum specifically. And then it would be a property option that you could select. That basically just becomes a string, I guess, in the end. Yeah. Let's do it. Why not? Well, I guess one reason why not is that I don't really need it right now. Enums? I mean, they're useful. They're useful. Don't get me wrong. They're useful. Where would you even, like, where would you even, like, change the options? Would it be in the scene section? Would it be, it'd have to be some kind of global area. I don't know. I have to think about that some more. I see the utility of it. I just don't need it. I never really need it, like really need it, so it's hard to justify putting the time in. In any case, this is solved. So, yeah, now we can just go ahead and say, oh, we want a BGM, and we want this to be the Pierce song. We can go over here to here. We can shut off the music. Let's go to air drift. Let's go to level. Close the others. All right, so we have the new level scene name. All right, there we go. All right, level.scene. Okay, clone. All right, level.init. All right, so now we can grab this. We can close the old Tetra3D. Gamedev says you could say they made Sonic 3D. Blast. For the Sega Saturn. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna say level.scene.tags now. Dot actually let's reload the window. Tags dot get as string BGM. All right, so what we want to do here, for now, let's just print out what we get out of here, because we want to see if it's actually working, if it's actually working properly. It is not. Let's see. Are we getting down here? Yes. Did I save this? I think I might not have saved it. No? Let's see. Level, scene, tags. It might be that when we clone the, yeah, the map is empty. Okay, let's see. Let's try this. Find scene. That's level. Does it ever contain? It never contains the data. Okay. So what's going on? Let's see. What the heck? So what the heck? Let's see. Game object. No. Tetra3D. GLTF. Is it here? Did I do what I should? Did I do what I ought not do? Have I done what I ought not have done? I feel like it's parsing, or is it not parsing? Maybe it's not parsing. Okay, collections. This is all the collections. Worlds. Okay. Export on save. Okay, so here we go. Map. Oh, T3D game properties. Oh, yeah. No. Wait. Game properties? Oh, so I never. Value equals. Get it. Or default. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So what we'll do. Game. What we'll do, we'll have to make something that basically like handles parsing game properties map and setting the tags in the related object. Really, it's about like we don't mind copying a lot of this code down to like right around here is where we don't want to copy this code. So we're gonna make this part a function. Handle game properties. And we'll put this, I guess we can put this outside of the entire function, I suppose. Something like that. Get or default int. So these can go. Find node. Do we ever use this? Yeah, okay. So get or default int. You can copy this stuff. Move it here. Copy now all of this. Move that down here. There we go. Now name and value. So now we can return name value and have it be where it returns a string and an interface. And then it's supposed to take in P as a interface. Okay. Something like that. And then we come back over here. We say we want P. So now name and value. This. All right. So that's basically that. Now we can grab this entire thing, this entire block, go down to down here. Yeah, this is the same. We can just, I guess this is, we still want that, yeah. But we can just do this. Now we can say extras. Now we can say scene.tags.set. All right, there we go. So that should basically get us where we want to go. There we go. Now we got BG and Pierce in there. Now we got PG and Pierce in there. That's what we're looking for. All right, so we can delete this extra stuff. And that's it. We're done, I think. Close this. Back over here. And when we load up, delete that. Delete this. Okay. Pierce. There we go. So that's the name of the song. So now BGM, we have Pierce.wave. Cool. So now let's convert the name of the song to an OG. I suppose. Why not? I'm trying to think. Is there any other way to do this? That's fine. I guess we don't have to convert it right now. Because I think I think I'll want it to be an OG file. But I guess I don't have to. Didn't I make a... I thought I made a batch file that converts OG files. Did I not? Excuse me. I feel like I did. Let me take a look here. In here? No, it was just waves. Okay. Well, we'll save that for later then. We don't have to worry about it for now. So the general idea is we want to... Oh, we already are playing sound. We're already playing sound? When did I... Oh, this wasn't for this. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I already made this work. So what we're going to do, we're going to basically say, actually, I think we want an infinite. Let's do something like this. It's BGM. Because I think it's new player. Isn't it like... I forget how... Yeah, audio new infinite loop. Creates an infinite loop. I think we pass that to the new player. I think we have something like this. So I guess... And then you can say decoded. No? Is that not how this works? Let's see. And what's, oh, and a length. Okay, that works. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say player is a audio.player. Something like this. Then we'll say if loop. Otherwise, we do this. Okay. So if we're not looping, then we can just play it normally. Otherwise, we want this outcome. That means we don't need it as BGM. And that means that we can push this error check out. There we go. And that's it. I guess we could also set decoded to be this. Oh, no, we couldn't. Yeah, I think this is the way it has to be. Okay. All right, so this should work, I believe. Return player. Okay, as wave loop pull. Okay, I think we're good. So we can do something like this. Now that we've done all this work, we can say globals.resources.get assets BGM slash Pierce, or I'm sorry, BGM plus dot wave. And we want resource type wave. And then we say wave dot as wave. We do want to loop, and then we want it to play. Something like that should kind of get us where we're looking to go. It crashed because there was a nil reference. Where was the nil reference? It might be that there was nothing read. Is reader nil? Nope. There's a lot of data there. Okay. So if reader's not nil, is decoded nil? Is there an issue there? No, decoded's there. Okay. So invalid memory address or nil pointer. Oh, there's no current context. I forgot about that. Game.init. Okay, that's, yeah. So we'll do this here. We'll say audio dot new context 44,100 should be fine. Let's go. Now it's a little choppy, it's a little crinkly, but it does work. With the frame rate, it's 60 FPS, but it's like stuttering, I think. Let's try this again. We'll turn off the BGM real quick. I just want to see if it still stutters the same. No. Definitely doesn't feel like it's stuttering. Okay. So it might be something with the audio system. Maybe it doesn't like me having 44,100. Maybe my OBS is set to 48,000 or something. Let's try that. Yeah, it's still stuttery a little bit. Oh. I think this would be easier if the rotation was locked to like 45-degree increments. That way you could have kind of like consistent like movement. I feel like that's kind of important. So we'll do that. Let's make that happen. I'm not sure about the sound, why it's stuttering, as well as why like it might be actually, hold on. Sample rate. Let's be clear. It's ready. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's like kind of stuttery. Am I insane? H-top is a thing, right? Yeah. Oh, my bad. There we go. Let's see. I pulled her out just there. I'm wondering if one of these threads is the audio and it's maxing out the thread. That's a possibility. Let's see. So it's 51%, 54% of one thread, I guess. So far. So what if we go back and then like don't create the context and don't play the song? There we go. Here we go. Game. Okay, the chat stopped, so I have to go back and reread it. Game Novice says, "What do you do for a living?" Right now, I'm actually looking to change positions. I've been doing indie game development, but now I'm thinking about becoming a data analyst. So, just getting a normal job, and then working on indie games in my free time, because it's like you have to be successful, like really successful, for it to work out to be an indie developer. I feel like I can be an indie developer and like have just a normal job rather than relying on like purely indie development to make ends meet. So yeah, I'm like, this might mean that my schedule's going to change, where I might stream in the evenings, like rather than 5 p.m. it might be 7, in a couple of months or something like that, like 7 or 8 p.m. Or maybe I'll stream more on the weekends or something. But yeah, some things might end up changing, but that's probably what's going to happen. Is I'm probably going to I'm looking for a different position for to have a normal job. Let's see. Lucretia says, "Did you add audio to Tetra?" No, this is just Ebitingen, basically using the audio system that Ebitingen supports and allows. So basically, if you make a normal 2D game with Go with Abit Engine, then it has audio playback capabilities in there already. Dead Beef says, "Are those polygons subpixel accurate?" I guess so. I suppose I never really paid too much attention, but it does seem like it's possible for them to move on smaller increments than a whole pixel. Yeah, seems like. It seems like it's rendering just like, you would kind of expect it to if you used if you use OpenGL or Vulkan or, put it into Unity or Godot or something. Yeah, Rashadzi says, what HTOP show is going on? That's what I'm trying to see what's going on there. So let's see if HTOP shows now. So it says it's higher CPU. Well, it's not the same scene. That's right. So let's try to get a consistent scene. So 42%, 44%, somewhere around there on this kind of, the game or the demo level where we're not making any inputs. The player spawns where he spawns there. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do this and go back over here to do that. All right. 57%, 54%, 53%, 48, 46. Another thread was created. 48. I assume that's another thread or Go routine. 45, 50. Okay. So if it's very 64, 62, 53. So if it's doing anything, it's a very minimal difference. But it definitely seems like it's stuttering more. Yeah, it feels like it's stuttering, but I'm not sure. It might be something else. Play. Maybe it's the buffer size. Maybe the buffer size is kind of big. Smaller is if you need to play real-time PCM. Let's try just a buffer size of like 10. I know that's probably way too small, but let's try it, see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's clicking as much, but it also still seems like it's doing the same like chunking. Actually, I guess the buffer size being set to, oh, and duration, yeah. Give me a time that second. Okay, it does definitely seem like it's tied to the audio because it's clicking and stuttering in game on like the same frames. Like it's clicking and stuttering for like 7 frames every second or so. So let's try a longer buffer size rather. Oh wait, hold on. What was that? Okay. So I guess that must be because it's like filling the buffer with music. So this is blocking the main thread when it fills the buffer with music. Okay. So we can try maybe a smaller buffer size. All right, let's try it. Divide by 10. So let's just go with milliseconds. Let's go with 10 milliseconds, a 10 millisecond buffer. All right, it has to be more than that. What about a 100 millisecond buffer? That's better. Excellent. Lucretia says doesn't Go have easy to use audio libraries. The current like easiest to use or most capable audio library is Beep, which is a good library, but it's based off of so basically the creator of Ebitingen, Hajime Hoshi, he created Ebitingen, which is a 2D game in development framework, but he also made like a variety of other things that are also really good. One of which is basically a like low level audio driver that allows you to play music with Go, play sound with Go. The creator of Beep used that driver to like extend a more usable like surface level audio library, but he based it off of an old version of this audio driver library called Oto. So well, it wasn't old at the time; it was recent, but that was he when he did it, this was whatever it is, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So as time passed, Hajime Hoshi updated Oto, but the creator of Beep didn't update his bindings because they're based off of the way Oto worked back 7 years ago. So basically, yes, Go has an easy to use audio libraries, one of which is easy to use relatively, or at least it's very capable, but it's based off of old technology. So if you want to use recent technology, you can work. If you're working with Ebitingen, you can just use Ebitingen's built-in audio playback system, which works fine. It seems like we got it squared away by just setting the buffer size to be 100 milliseconds instead of the default, which I don't know, it might be smaller or maybe bigger actually. Yeah, the thing that's kind of interesting because of this, because the user's name, the guy's name on GitHub is Fiveface. So Fiveface made Beep. Works well, but again, it's based off of old technology, but it does have some cool features like reverb and stuff like that. But because I didn't want to use that old stuff, I made my own audio audio playback, like audio effects library for Ableton games, for Ableton games. Uh, and it's, what was it called? Sound, was it Resound? It's called Resound. So I made my own like audio playback, system that allows you to add like DSP effects. It's basically like a DSP channel. Uh, it allows you to take a DSP channel and add effects to it, and then when you play back music or sounds on those channels, all of those sounds you're playing have the effects you specified. So it's like a simple DSP system plus a series of effects, like delay, like panning, volume. I think is included just because it doesn't make sense not to include such a basic effect. Distortion, low pass filter. I don't have a high pass filter yet, or reverb, but that's just something I did because I was like, I need something that kind of works. Let's see how this works. It's gonna have to build because I haven't done this on a recent version of Go, I guess, or a recent version of Ableton. Let me see. It might be easier to go DSP. Okay, so this is quiet. I'm not sure why it's so quiet, but I might have just made it quiet just to make it not blow the person's ears out. But you can hear, this is basically how DSP channels work. You create a channel, you can add effects and play streams audio through it. And in this example, left and right alters the pan. And then up and down change the volume. As you kind of would expect. And then if you press space, it will play a footstep sound through the same channel. Oh, that's why. The music is quiet so that you can hear the footstep. So you can... Yeah. So that's what I did because I needed more control. I needed more control, everyone. I'm a control freak. I'm a control freak. But yeah, so you can add DSP effects, and this is GitHub. It's open source, MIT licensed, so you can go to GitHub and check it out. But basically, you can make a DSP and add effects to the DSP channel, and then anything you play back through that channel takes the effects, takes on the effect of all the effects you specified, which is cool. That's a nice ability, nice option. For example, let's make this a filter instead of volume. Zero. And then up and down. It's not volume, it's filter. It crashed. Oh, is it because... Oh yeah, it's supposed to be... There we go. Percentage. All right. There we go. So now this is a low pass filter. Whoa, it's like I'm living in the future. It's like I'm outside a club. It's like I'm this crazy. So that's it. I'm gonna just make a quick change here because I realized that. Wait, I realized that like some effects have percent and others have percentage. Yeah, there's no reason we have this 3%. Oh, that's right. Maybe strength would be a better word for it than. Well, yeah, we have. Wait, delay strength. How loud and percentage the delay should be. Ebo Wright says, "Hello, still working on that car game." Yep, that is correct. Also working on some sound stuff real quick. Just working on like renaming some things. I'm wondering if strength would be better than percent. Let's not worry about that too much. I noticed that volume can go sub-zero though. Didn't I see volume go sub-zero? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't go sub-zero. Okay. Let's try. This is DSP. Yeah. Why didn't I? Oh, that's why. Let's see, delay. Resound. Yeah, let's try like a distortion. Percent can just be 0. Volume is now distort. All right, so there we go. Yeah, I probably should have. I mean, just bass boost. You're playing the game and you crash and die, and it's just. Just. All right. Any case, my ears. I'm sorry. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. It was dumb loud, wasn't it? Oh, I fixed it. I was gonna do it again because I want to see how loud it got. My bad. I'm sorry. I had my music. I have my headphones completely different from yours. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. That was a genuine accident. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh no. I'm sorry. Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. In case somebody had their audio turned up, I'm so sorry. That was a genuine accident. I like because my headphones are hooked up to a USB like audio device, so I can turn it up and down separate from what you guys hear. Like I'm turning up and down what I hear, but I don't have to like do anything with my computer audio. So I really am sorry about that, everybody. I'm sorry. That was a genuine accident, like a true accident. I'm sorry. Was something on the screen right there? That's weird. What did I see something? What was that? I guess I'll have to go back and review review it. I saw something on the screen. Oh, that was just like I hovered my mouse over this. This? that, and I was like, I looked away. Okay, yeah, genuinely sorry about that. Just once again, I'm so sorry. All right. In any case, yeah, I'll have to kind of rethink some of these the names of some of these effects, like instead of like maybe it should be strength instead of percent or something like that, so that you can have like some kind of consistency. So I think distort is strength, right? Or no, is anything strength? Delay, yeah. I really could. I don't know. I gotta think about it. Yeah, think about it. But that is working. So now I could use that for like my game. All right, so we got audio. We just need to get like some sounds in there of like skidding and stuff like that, skidding and falling. And wait, let's get it. Let's see if we can get a sound in there. I think I have a couple of falling sounds, falling, screaming sounds here, samples. Let me see if I can find one that might work. Let's see. Songs, samples. Okay. So I think if I can get like a scream. Where would it be? I think this group might be it. I'm going to okay, the volume's down. Let me see. There's so much like so obnoxious. But like these are so like there's so much Homer in yeah in this. Dead Beef says I heard Marge Simpson. There's some like very strong Homer vibes in a couple of these screams, like extremely strong. I think one of these was not too bad. That was not it. No. I like that sounds like Kazooie from Banjo Kazooie. Like they're so either they're like high pitched and unusable, like something just like super. Oh, I'm sorry to everybody who had their volume up. I'm sorry. Yet again, I'm sorry. What have I done? Oh, I'm a fraud. I'm a charlatan and a fraud. But it seems like they're either too high pitched or they're like too loud and long. I kind of want just like like a surprised scream. I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have a scream like that. Let me see if do I have anything else? Whoops. Anything in my I also recorded myself, but I don't think I have any of my own. I don't know if I screamed for any of my samples. I don't know if do I still have them? I think is it me? Is it here? Voice shouts. Nah. Okay. Nah, none of these are usable. I don't know. I got to figure out what like a good scream. What makes a good scream? Um, what, can I like go like this? Which one is it? Which one has the where it fades out? Yeah, there we go. Control shift off. Okay. It kind of works. Let's try that. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just go with this. Let's see. Drift assets. Yeah, let's try this. That's fine. Okay. Let's try this. Where's that fall off? All right, so let's see if this works. Well, I mean, it should, but I just want to see how easy might this be. So when you fall off, okay, so times, here we go. So, if player that state, like state dead. Globals, resources, get assets, SFX, fall off. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Okay. All right, so he's grinding. Everything's good. Oh no. All right, that works pretty well. I think what I'm gonna do, because I think his HP being, yeah, state equals state dead. So what we're gonna do is we're going to have it be something like this. Put this here. Say HP equals 0. Let's try that. Bro, what? Was his is his HP not 3? Let's see. Apply reverb on top. of it like fighting games, I could. But the thing about resound I never got to fix is that you can't apply an effect that stretches the sound longer than the wave file, than the stream. I have to figure out how to fix that. So in other words, it won't work. All right, well that didn't that didn't do anything. Let's see. So he's in death time. I guess we can just put all of that in there. There we go. So hopefully this would mean that if I step on the spikes enough on the third time, there he goes. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, that works pretty well. Yeah, I mean, like, that's honestly not bad. It's not honestly not bad. I'm pretty happy with this outcome. I think this is satisfactory. Eboat right says, "Alright, I'm gonna head out." All right, see ya. Thank you very much for stopping in. I think what I'm gonna do, because this has been going pretty well, and I've been going for about 2 hours. I'm gonna stop here, even though I kind of have a little bit more energy to keep going. I'm gonna stop here. I'm going to pick up this same thing tomorrow. I'm gonna work on the same thing tomorrow at probably the same time, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. 4 p.m. 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Yeah, 5 p.m. tomorrow. I think I can do that. So yeah, tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'm gonna start another stream, and next time tomorrow I'm probably gonna do health pickups because that's kind of important, and also a UI so that you can see how much health you have. I feel like both of those will be important. Maybe an enemy too, because I kind of feel like I need to see how I want enemies / hazards to work. Like, you know, can enemies run over hazards? How do they respawn? I got to think about all that stuff. And I think I can get started on that next week. Yeah. All right. Well, we got some stuff done. You know what? Before we go, let's get the camera rotating to be working correctly. It's not working correctly currently. So let's fix that. I think is that camera? Do we have that? No. Rotate. Cam handle? Yeah. All right, so how we want to do this? We want to rotate it in 45-degree increments. So there's a couple ways we could do this. One is the right way. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. All right, let's try this. Let's try this. Wait, hold on. Do I have a camera forward? I guess I must, right? Because, yeah, cam forward. So I'm thinking. Thinking it needs. Oh, Fazio Pazarino says, by the way, are you working on your other projects off screen or just master plan? I would probably just be working on master plan and this, and then following that, maybe my other projects. But yeah, because the thing, I actually started another project and like stopped it between the stream, like between the last time I started streaming and like when I first picked it up again the past like 2 weeks ago. Like there was a period of like 3 months where I didn't have any videos, and I was working on Tetra3D and another project that was useful because it helped me to like, kind of square away some problems with Tetra 3D and understand like, oh yeah, this is how this should work, or this is where I could work on things to make things more efficient. But I started another project and then I was like, nah, this isn't gonna work. So like I have a lot of ideas and I do not have the ability to finish them all. So one day you'll see what that game was. But in answer to your question, probably just master plan in this. Master plan and one other project is pretty much all I can kind of handle, while like getting anything done on either of them. Um, right. So rotating the camera, the way that this is probably going to work is something like this. Really, we can just store forward. We don't need to store right. And then we just could rotate forward whenever we want to. Yeah, something like this might work. So here, cam handle. Okay, so we do like this. Player.cam forward equals cam handle dot local rotation forward. So cam forward is just cam player.cam forward. Cam right is just cam forward, and then we can just rotate it around by 90 on the y-axis. I think that's pretty much it. And then over here, yeah. All right. So let's just try this for now. I want to see how this up and down, right and left, or reverse. Okay. So cam right. So it should be that. So this is a start. Now the idea here. Okay. So this is the same roughly. Whoa. No, it's not. Up. Oh no. Okay. So this, oh, I see, because we're not updating cam forward. Okay, so when we do this, here's what we're gonna do. When we do this, we just say player.cam forward.rotate, or equals player.cam forward rotate 2 radians, 45, and then we want to rotate it around on the y-axis. It's either going to be like this or like that. Now, the general idea here is that basically we hold on. Should I have like a target and a current forward for the camera? That makes sense. I'm just trying to see. That seems logical. Target and a current forward. Let's try this. Target forward. So then when you rotate it, you rotate the target, and then the forward is just blending toward the target. That seems fine. Target. Oops. Forward. So then we just say player.camera forward equals player.target sub player.camera scale Swidku gives $5 and says keep it up. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll try to. No matter what. I like to make games, and I think it's cool to do it yourself. And it's interesting because I never thought that I would be making a 3D game in code. I just didn't even know how you would even start to do that, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I was just like, I don't know, like, you have to use an engine. And now I'm like, It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's just you just gotta take the time and slowly build it out to make it happen. But you can do almost anything. Not anything, but you can do a lot. You can do a lot if you just have the time and the motivation. So I think something like this. Yeah, I guess it's this plus add this. Something like that. So that should kind of get us where we're trying to go. Dot. SwitchQ says time isn't the issue; it's the motivation for sure. The thing that I've kind of figured out is that it's not really about motivation. Or not. It's not about motivation. I think I also struggle with motivation or have struggled with motivation, and the thing that I've found to be helpful is to rather work on a momentum based approach. So rather than working on motivation where it's like, you know, you have to get yourself psyched up to work on it, and you have to be determined to work on it and have self-control, self-control and you know, discipline and all that. It's easier, I feel like, to just use motivation. So you do something successfully, and that makes, you know, you can think like, okay, I'm going to now like spring into the next action. I'm going to spring into you know, use my momentum to carry me forward into the next thing I'm going to do. And when I think like that, I no longer feel like, you know, I don't want to do it. It's like, well, I have the impetus to do it, even if I don't have the desire. It's like, well, I'm going to do it because I have the momentum. So that's helpful, and that's also helpful because you can use anything as that momentum. So you can go for a run, you can you know, cook dinner for yourself, you can have a good day at work, or just, you know, get done with work, you know, and all of those things are good things. And you think, okay, I did that, it's complete. Oh, I have laundry to do, let me do that, it's complete. All right, these are giving me momentum. You know, let me use that momentum to fix this problem with my, you know, at home or whatever, and then use that as momentum to work on my game. So it's like, it doesn't have to, you don't have to get motivation, you don't have to motivate yourself, because your motivation comes from just completing actions. So it's like, oh, I did this, and let me now use this as an opportunity to do that. All right, now let me go work on my game for, you know, an hour. Like, you don't have to try, because it's, you are driving yourself, you're pushing yourself by other things, by other actions that are already completed. That's the idea. It's pretty good. I think that it's useful. It's been a useful tool for me for getting my mind kind of on doing things, getting back into streaming and stuff like that. Let's see, can we print out? I swear this isn't. Oh, maybe I have to, it must be like floating point or something. Let me make that a unit. That's slightly better, but not perfect. Yeah, it's not perfect, but we'll see. 2 radians, 45 degrees. Yeah, okay. All right, so camera forward is this. So I think what we can do now is just say player.camera or camera cam handle. Set world rotation. New look at matrix from 0, 0, 0 to player camera forward vector y. Something like this might work. We'll see. Okay, that works significantly better than I thought it would. Let's make it does this a little faster. Sweet Q says, wise words. I appreciate the advice. No problem. I feel like, yeah, this is something that I haven't really done before. I never really thought of before, but I feel like this is something that kind of helps out a lot, because a lot of people struggle with motivation. And I think that struggling with motivation is something that, like, there's always going to be maybe self-help books or self-help techniques or something like that to help you with motivation. And I kind of feel like the best motivation is no motivation. I feel like that might be the key, is just to spring into things you're going to do, spring into things you want to have done, even if you don't have the desire to do them, and to get the fuel, do other things that you want to do, or other things that you're going to do regardless. So you go to work, and then you use that, like, okay, I did work. I am successful already. I've already done something good. I've already come out on top in terms of, having completed an action today. Even if it was something I needed to do, I did it. I went to school, I was never not going to go to school, but that's a good thing that I did. So that gives me momentum. Now let me use that to tackle this other issue. And now let me use that momentum to tackle this. So that kind of, energizes you, even if you don't have the desire to do anything. That says, momentum is really the key. It's been a year that I seriously started my 2D, 3D framework journey, and now it features morphing animation, PBR materials, lights, and bullet physics. That's crazy. Yeah. That's insane. Oh. All right. So this is, it's working. It's not rotating correctly though. So I think what might be the case, let's see, camera. Oh, that might be part of it. It should be camera target forward, not camera forward. There we go. That's part of it. I don't know if that's all of it though. Yeah, no, that's not right. Let's see. What's it? Oh, action. My bad. Action down. This should be action press. That might be it, actually. There we go. I think I need to change the angle, that, like, the rotation angle, rotation direction for each of these, but this is working basically. Yeah, it's better. Sweet Q says, believe me, I know, as well. I'm in about a year for my game, been on a month or so hiatus now, but I'm building up the courage to jump back into it. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Fantastic. Please keep up with it. Keep making cool stuff. Keep making fun, good things. Yeah, like I think that it can be hard to get like momentum, to get desire, to you know build stuff, to work on things. But I think it's a lot of fun to work on things, and it's a lot of fun to come out with something, to come out of a process with something, with something that's successful. Even if you never sell it or anything like that, but just being able to have come out of the development process and come out on the other side with something that you've completed. That's great. Like, that's something very few people can do. Um, and I think that a key part of that productivity is just finding out what works for you and using it. But I think that a lot of it is not motivation. I think a lot of people who lack motivation, like if you lack motivation and go on Reddit game dev and say, what can I do to get more motivation? I think you're coming at it from the wrong direction. Like you're coming at it from the end, where motivation is something like you don't get motivation to work on your game. You create motivation by working on your game. Almost. It's like you can't wait for motivation to create your product to work. You have to use other things to generate the momentum, I feel like. Um if you struggle with like doing it. If you don't struggle with doing it, then you can just do it. Yeah. So anyway, oh, Music Boy J Boy, you just showed up at the wrong time. Here, I'm just about to leave. But yeah, what's up? And yeah, hope everyone enjoyed their day. Hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow at like the same time, like 5 p.m. 5 to 7 roughly. And I'll see if I can get that stuff that I mentioned working, the health system. I'll see if I can get the no, yay. I'll see if I can get the health system or health HP items, pickups working so that you can replenish your health. I will add a GUI, which will be done in code using Flexbox. I think I that's how I did it last time with some other game project that I have yet to show. I think I used a Ebitingen library for GUI. So we'll look into that and be implementing that, which is going to be interesting. I might also see if I can get it running on the Steam Deck, which should be relatively easy. I've done this before. I think I got it working on the Steam Deck previously. So that would be cool to get it running here. I think it's actually really simple. It's just a matter of like setting up the development environment for it. You can actually I don't think you need a development environment to build for it. It's just I need one for Ebitingen games because they need like low level Linux libraries, or I could build straight to Windows and then push it. And I think that should be working now, but I haven't done that yet. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Kind of feel like doing it now. Tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. All right. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's 8 p.m. It's 8. It's no 7 p.m. 7 p.m. 7:15. I could get it running on the Steam Deck, dude. I probably could get it running super easy. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna get it running on the Steam Deck. Let's see if we can get this baby running on the Steam Deck. What I'm gonna do to to get this running on the Steam Deck. I'm trying to think. So the easiest way to do this is to build a Windows executable and then just push it to the deck and run it through Proton. So let's go ahead and try that. Let's try that first. Hold on. Let's move this to the end so I can find it. Okay. We will make, I think, how do I do this? I think it's just go build go OS, right? Isn't it like go OS, Windows, go Arch, AMD64, go build dot o right, something like that. Oh, is like that. That might work. For no reason, the man has lost it. I've lost it. I've gained. I had to have had it first in order to lose it. So let's see if that works. So we have an airdrift executable now. It might be Windows. Should be. We'll see. Okay, so here it is. It's 27 megabytes, which is tiny, absolutely tiny. Let's see if it runs with Wine. Yo, it does. Beautiful. All right, so if this is working, then we should be able to just push this to the deck and get it running like pretty simply. SwitchQ says, what other OS could .exe be? Well, I named the file .exe, so it could be a Linux executable. Like if I didn't enter this correctly, then it could have built as just a Linux executable with .exe at the end. But I think it did actually build correctly. We could probably, let me see, Linux tell if a Windows executable is built. Can I like see? Can I see? Can I see? Linux examine Windows executable. Getting info about Windows executables on the Linux system. You know what? Let me hold on. Let me try this again. Let's see. Garbled names on a Linux system. What are most? Examine them. Exif tool. Example output. All right. So this actually might work. Exif tool. Exif tool. I don't have it right. No. Let's see. Does it have it? Does it exist? Yeah, no. Did you make any package manager for Tetra, or do you have to bundle the assets together with the game? The assets don't have to be. Well, the assets are bundled using the Go like 1.14 asset bundling system, asset embedding system. So with Go 1.13 or so, you can just run have this code that says it's not just a comment, it's a command that when Go compiles this program, it will embed every file into the assets directory under this this code, under this this variable assets dir, like assets directory, as an embedded file system. So basically all the assets are in this file. So I can move this to any other directory and run it just like this one, just like shut in demo. That also should work. So we can just go wine air drifts. There we go. Oh, but it didn't work. It says path not found levels.gltf. Oh. Z home SolarLune documents projects go assets levels.gltf path not found. Hold on. Okay, that works. So, so there's something up with the air drift executable directly or specifically. Oh, wait. Yeah. 136. Oh, it's because the release mode is still set to release mode dev. That's what it is. Yeah, local relative path. That's not right. It's supposed to be file path 2/. Yeah. Okay, so we need to set release mode to be release mode dev. I can't think of an easy way to do this like correctly, so let's do like that, I guess, for now. All right, now let's go ahead and go back, grab this. Go back here, paste it. Yeah, replace it. All right, let's see if this works. Yo, let's go. It's working like smoothly though. Before you know it, I'm air drifting all around the city. Ain't pretty. Rather pretty, actually, yo. Did you believe it? It's me, SolarLune. Okay. So that works. So what we're going to do now is we will take this executable, plop it onto our Steam Deck and see if it works. I already believe it will. So there's actually a really easier way to do this, even easier than this. What I'm doing is going to desktop mode. I'll show it a little bit. Let me see if I can. There we go. So I'm going to desktop mode, and then once I'm here, I'm going to push data to it. I don't remember how I push data to it. What do I use Warpinator. So I'm going to push data to it with Warpinator, and then just pull it into Steam and get it to run. Now, the easier way to do this is to use Valve's dev kit like executable. So you can just freely download from Valve a dev kit program that basically allows you to push a folder to your Steam Deck over Wi-Fi remotely without you even having to do anything, where you don't have to it should detect your Steam Deck automatically, or you put in the IP address if it doesn't, and then you can just be like, oh, push the data, and it will just appear on your Steam Deck, and it will automatically create an entry for it in gaming mode. It's super smooth. It doesn't always work perfectly. Sometimes you have to delete the game and redo the process. But it is like a almost one click send. And you can also specify oh, this requires Proton before you send it, and then it will, I assume, give it that checkbox in the gaming mode, or on Steam, on your Steam Deck. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Oh, I never installed Warpinator, dude. I gotta install and go through that. All right. So I'm not showing my screen because I don't know if it's gonna have my IP address or something, and I don't want to get doxxed if I can help it. I don't want to get doxxed. I simply want to try to do cool things on the internet for people to watch. Okay, so I'm starting up Warpinator here. It's installing on my, you can't see it really that easily. It's initializing. I think it's just going to say 192.168, but I don't know that for sure yet. So I'm looking to see what it'll do before I commit. All right, so it's initializing. Yeah, it seems like it won't. Yeah, it seems fine. Seems fine. Okay, so I'm gonna. All right, so anyway, whatever. It went through. So I should have just gone with the Steam Deck dev kit approach, but I don't know why I didn't do that now that I think about it. Anyway, it got sent. It's here. I'm going to now go ahead and put it here. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it here. Warpinator. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to leave it where it is, I suppose. I'm going to add it to Steam as a game. Add a non-Steam game. I'm going to browse to it. Give me just a few seconds here. Where is it? Is it here? Or is it? Where is it? Oh wait, I think it. Oh, it's there. Okay. All right. airdrift.exe, add selected programs. Go to properties. We're going to make it Proton. All right. And let's go ahead and see if this works. So now we're going to go back to gaming mode. And we'll see if it does indeed load as it should. Fez Pazarino says, any feedback about the Steam Deck so far? It's been a while since you got it. I personally find it, I said it was like a 9.5 out of 10 or 8 out, like 9.5 or 9 out of 10 before. I basically still feel the same way. It still is not perfect. They've improved it quite a bit with like updates and bug fixes and things. It's still not perfect. There's still things that need to be fixed or areas where it needs to improve. But from a philosophical level, it's a 9, 10 out of 10 device, because it's like this is the only console-like console where you can put on games from the internet, where you can just put on stuff that you want to put on, where it's basically yours, which is kind of wild, because for all of the devices, all of the handhelds that have ever been in gaming history, it is a primarily online device that gives you the most open capabilities. Like, you would think, like, if there was going to be a device where it's like, oh yeah, you can like load your own programs on it, it would be like a Game Boy Advance or a Nintendo DS or something, obviously without rooting or something like that, because physical games are the only way to play commercial games on a Nintendo DS back in the day was to buy a physical cartridge. You couldn't download it from Nintendo servers, and that's kind of like an automatic anti-piracy protection. So you might think like, oh well, digital games or digital code, let's let them go ahead and run it, because you're never going to be able to play Super Mario 64 DS on the DS digitally because they don't offer it digitally, right? That's kind of stupid. I understand, that my train of thought there is stupid, but my idea is basically that the Steam Deck is a primarily download only service where, all the games you play on this are non-physical, and yet this gives you the most, like, it feels like you own the games on here more than any other device, because you can load games from anywhere. So philosophically, I heavily agree with the Steam Deck. Gameplay wise, like in terms of the feel and everything, it still feels great. It's a little heavy, but it's not uncomfortably heavy or uncomfortably weighted or anything. It's very comfortable. I don't really have anything additionally to say in terms of like my experience. I don't play it as much as I used to, and that's mainly because mainly just because of storage capacity, because this is the 64 gigabyte version. I have a 512 gigabyte SD card in here, but with shader caches and everything, which I think are important, and they do work. Like, you can't store every game, like I can't store all of my games on here at once, or even a lot of AAA games. I can store a few, but not a huge amount of recent AAA games on here, or recent graphically intensive games. So I game mostly now on my PC when it comes to like Overwatch 2 or what else have I been playing? Let me look in here. what have I been playing? Like Overwatch, or like, well, Iuden's Chronicles, I've been playing that on here. Deus Ex, the old, like the OG 2000s Deus Ex, I played on here. I'm playing it on here. So I mean, like, I play it. I play it pretty well. Now I there was a gap where I wasn't playing it that much. Even when I wasn't playing it, I still think it's a fantastic device that I heavily recommend. I think the only people who I basically wouldn't recommend it to would be like people who really want it to be a seamless experience, like just perfect, or people who really want a handheld and docked experience in one, like the Switch, where it's seamless in terms of you playing in handheld mode or you playing in docked mode. It's almost the exact same experience. Even with the improvements, I think that the docked experience is kind of secondary, or leaves some to be desired currently. From what I'm hearing, I don't play this docked just because I have a computer and I'm sitting at a screen. So it's like, I'm going to play on my computer or I'm going to play this, but I'm not going to play this on the screen seriously. Like I might hook it up to try it, but not devote time to it. But I do feel like it's a fantastic device and I do feel like it's fantastic to be able to play this on the screen, on a big screen. So yeah, I just feel like it's a great device. Heavily recommend it. Heavily recommend it. If you really like video games, if you really like playing games portably, and playing games portably does feel different than playing games at a desk with a computer or with a keyboard and mouse or with a keyboard and trackball in this case for me, or with a gamepad. It's different here. This is a very strong contender for a comfortable gameplay experience. Like I have this 8-bit Do or 8-bit Do Pro Plus, like Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Feels great, works really well, it's comfortable. This is also very comfortable. Like it's very, and with the back, buttons here, that can kind of be a deal breaker for certain games, and for certain experiences. So like there's definitely something here. Like this is basically a Steam controller too, in terms of compatibility or being able to like really easily configure your controls and things like that. Like this feels really good. The thumbsticks are great, the trackpads are great, the buttons are great, you know those are great, the back paddle switches are great. It's very good. It's very good. It's not, the Steam button and the quick access menu buttons are, I wouldn't say mushy, they're just kind of like, they don't move very far, but it's not like you don't push them, or it's not like you miss them. You know what I mean? Like if you push it, you're like, yeah, I felt like I pushed it. It just could have a little bit more travel. It feels a little like it doesn't travel far enough. Like it could move in about twice as much as it currently does, but it's not like it gets in the way. It's not like you push it and it doesn't register. It's not like you're pushing them that much. So it's, that's really the only like minor complaint in terms of like physical input, is just those two buttons. Everything else is basically perfect in my experience, like in my opinion. D-pad, it's not Nintendo good, but it's not bad. Like it's not like, Nintendo the Wii D-pad was pretty good, or the not the GameCube D-pad, but like the, not the N64 D-pad, but like the SNES D-pad was like the gold standard basically. PlayStation D-pad was fantastic as well. It's not quite as good as those, but it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for like if you're not doing like Street Fighter, like heavy Street Fighter play. I feel like you would be fine with the D-pad. If you are, I don't know. I feel like you would probably use the thumbstick or the trackpad. Some people don't like the D-pad that much. I kind of feel like it's I feel like it heavily biases toward orthogonal directions, and it doesn't really like the diagonals that much. But I feel like that could wear down over time, because this is, even for me, this has only been a few months since March or so. I got it March or April, so it might be over a year. It loosens up, and if not, it's not that big of a deal if you can't hit diagonals that easily. But I feel like over time it does like loosen up. I kind of feel like it's easier to hit diagonals now than when I started, but it's still not as easy as I would like it to be. So that's kind of the only thing that I have to say. I basically still just heavily recommend the device, especially if you're a huge fan of homebrew, or uh really owning your devices, and having something that is a handheld console. It feels and looks like a handheld console, but you can just put stuff on it. You don't have to like um uh uh you don't have to only subscribe to a single walled garden marketplace. Like that's a great opportunity. um if you've ever been somebody who looks at a GP2X or a GP2X Wiz or a GP32 or a Game Park Canoe or a Pandora or uh a JXD handheld, or any kind of handheld that is like uh kind of a wild card in terms of what you're going to get. A Dingu digital, any kind of those weird handhelds where it's like, oh, what is this thing? And, how does this thing work? And what's going to be on here? And, how do I make stuff for this? Or, I don't know. It feels like a natural evolution of that kind of concept where it's just, you kind of can easily make play games for it. Of course you can just stick to the Valve, verified verification system and have basically, basically certitudes. You can basically have assurances that this would work, that the games you purchase and play are going to work here. It's not perfect. There are games that are verified or playable that aren't playable or shouldn't be considered playable or crash. That's that's a possibility. Those are possibilities, but those are outliers. We're talking 20 games, 50 games out of 1,000, 2,000. It's not enough to really say that it undermines the experience. It undermines the experience if you have those 20 or 30 games. But if you don't have those games, or you just have one or two, it's not that big of a deal. And it's a continuously updating and improving device. So anyway, I've been going on long enough. Let's see if this works. Play, please. Maybe. Well, no. Would you look at that? It was so simple. It was like, oh, would you look at that? This game is running nice and simple. Oh, even with the gamepad moving. Oh no. Can we get some boosting? Oh, yo, let's go. This is sick. With the camera rotating on the right stick. No, it's actually the right bumper. But anyway, this is sick, dude. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is so cool, dude. This is so cool. This is so cool. Hold on. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, it's the same experience, dude. It's in a small little window. You have to do full screen. I have to make it full screen, which I can do by rebinding the keys. So I can, for example, I can't make this any clearer to see, unfortunately. Hold on, maybe I can. Hold up. Okay. Sorry for the weird ink. But yeah, so you can go into the Steam input if you don't have a Steam Deck or are completely unfamiliar with Steam, the Steam ecosystem. Steam input is a way to rebind keys and gamepad inputs and stuff. So I can go here and I can say I want, for example, the Fat Grip R5 button. As an example, I want that to be F4 on the keyboard. Now I press this button. I'm trying to get it in shot. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So that's pretty sick, dude. That's pretty sick. It's hard to even hold it at this angle, but yeah, let's see what the FPS is. I can tell it's 60 FPS, but let me see. Hold on. Let me move this back. There we go. Whoops. Let's see. I'll put this on F1. It's 60 FPS. It's like 2 to 3 milliseconds render and about 1.2 millisecond logic. So it's basically the exact same as my desktop computer, which is kind of wild. I guess that means that it's either really poorly optimized or this is a beast of a console, beast of a device. I think it's just poorly optimized. But yeah, this is exactly the experience, dude. Like this is wild, dude. Oh, this is so smooth. So anyway, this is just like big ups to Hajime Hoshi for making Ebi Tenjin. Big ups to Valve. Like this is an insane device for games and game development. I mean, like the ability to take a game that is on your computer and is wholly not made to work on a handheld context, and then just throw it onto a handheld device and a consumer handheld device. It's not just a dev kit, but this is just a normal Steam Deck. Um, it's just such a wild and powerful ability that I feel like not enough developers really talk about. And I think developers realize it, and maybe they talk about it in the developer circle. But I think that's something that developers really, it matters to me as a developer, and I feel like it should matter to most developers. Is the ease of use with which the ease of development with which you can just push something onto a Steam Deck and be like, hey, is it working? Why not? How does it run? You can just throw it on there. Um, I was not going to do this, and then I did it in like 15 minutes. I mean, like, with Go, like this isn't even like, C++ or something that's like inherently made for every platform on earth. This is just, you know, like you could do this with Lua, you could do this with Rust, you could do this with C, you could do this with, Python, you could do this with uh any programming language, because all it is just a Linux computer and or a Linux computer running Proton, which is it runs Windows applications, so it's Windows games mainly. So anyway, it's such a wild thing. I really enjoy the Steam Deck. The ability to just make things for it's unparalleled. So yeah, I really heavily recommend the Steam Deck. Cool to have AirDrift working on here. I forgot this entire time to have another light here, so I'm like kind of dark compared to previous streams. Anyway, that's who cares. But yeah, Steam Deck heavily recommended. Still heavily recommended. The $400 version is the 64 gigabyte $400 version. I would only say you might want the 256 if you do a lot of AAA gaming. If you wanted to get it and you wanted to do a lot of AAA gaming like Spider-Man or Jedi Fallen Order or Prey or whatever, those kinds of games that have that only run on Windows and therefore have shader caches. The 64 gigabyte version is a little small in terms of storage for that. You could still obviously have those games on a SD card. That's fine, but the shader cache is a little heavy for those games. So like if you played those games not those games specifically, but those kinds of games, I would probably recommend a 256 gigabyte unit or above. But I feel like if they put in, instead of 64, maybe 96 or 100 gigabytes of storage, that would have been enough. Like just a little bit more, just a little bit more. 64 is just a little bit too shy with the shader caches. Just a smidge. If they added just to 100 gigabytes, just 100 would have been enough. 96 would have been enough. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But yeah. Otherwise, it's a steal in my opinion. For $400, this is like a ridiculously powerful handheld. Philosophically is fantastic. It's fun, it's comfortable to use. And I have larger than normal hands. I think if you have normal size hands or above, you would enjoy it. If you have small, tiny hands, little baby hands, then I think you might have a little bit of a hard time. Um, but I think if you have normal hands or above, you're probably going to enjoy it. It's comfortable. Um, it's great. I find it to just be a lot of fun to use. I enjoyed it a lot. And again, it's not perfect. There's always going to be issues with it here and there. Not always, but there are issues with it here and there. But they have been improving it, and you know, as long as you remain what's the word? Kind of forgiving for those issues. Like if you're someone who can look at it crashing once in a when you do something specifically, like, oh, I do this and then I do that and I do this and it crashes in desktop mode. It's like, okay, well, that's a very specific use case, and it's crashing in this specific situation. It could be due to software you have installed or things, settings you have tweaked or whatever. They might fix it, they might not, but as if you're the kind of person who's like, I need this to work, then it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be using this as a desktop computer, if you're going to be using this if you're going to be using it as a desktop computer, you could probably do better off with, and especially if you're going to use it docked, you could probably do better off with like a Intel NUC or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be this specific device. The strength of it really comes from using it as a gaming device. If you're using it as a computer, it can do that, and you can do crazy things with it, but I don't feel like it's as like, I don't think it's, I feel like it's fantastic to be able to do the things that it can do. But, well, I mean, like in terms of hardware, it's kind of hard to find something I think better for $400. Like $400 for this is kind of insane, actually. Like if you bought a NUC, if you bought an Intel NUC or something like that, you probably would be looking at like $800, $900, and it wouldn't come with a graphics chip or graphics card, dedicated graphics card. So it's kind of, this is kind of a wild device, honestly, in terms of hardware. Software, it could use some like a little more time in the oven for certain things. Not everything needs more time in the oven with the Steam Deck in its current state. I would say that it needed more time in the oven when I first got it. Now I would say only parts of it need more time in the oven. Like in general, it's pretty solid, but there are times where it's like, oh, this will make it crash, or this is a little weird, but not like everything is less than ideal. I feel like, parts of it are great. Parts of it are a little raw, just a little raw. But like cookie dough, some people eat cookie dough raw. So it's like, some people love it. Some people are like, this is raw, ew. It's that kind of thing. Like parts of it are fantastic. It's, delicious, freshly baked, double chocolate chip, fudge in the middle, cookie, where it's just like, wow, this is fantastic. And then parts of it are like raw cookie dough, where not everyone likes it. That's the best way to describe it. So if you can get over the minor parts, heavily recommend it. If you are a developer, heavily recommend it. If you're even if you're new to PC gaming, I would heavily recommend this, because if you can get into it, then you're going to be able to take something that plays your games and play them on a computer moving forward. You could play them here, or you can play them on a computer. The things you buy here are also bought on your computer. It's not like a PS4 or 5 or 3 or whatever, where you buy games and then you may not be able to take them into the next console generation. And conversely, this Steam Deck will probably be able to play, games in 10 years, 15 years, because fundamentally this is just a Linux handheld, a Linux desktop computer. So as long as the Steam store itself doesn't like have any requirements that prevents you from purchasing and downloading games in the future, even if, we go from the PS5 to the PS6, you would still be able to play games made for that console, assuming they weren't graphically intensive to the point of being a slideshow. So it's kind of a future-proofed console in that sense too. Anyway, I like it. I like it a lot. This has gone on long enough, but hey, we got Air Drift working on this. That's cool. Faz Pazarino says, PSP to PS Vita D-pads, never had either, but I can see the PSP or the PlayStation, like the D-pad on the PlayStation, I really liked. I thought that was a really good D-pad. On my own games on the device, it's a lit device. Seems wild. Yeah, Steam Link plus controller. Yeah, like the Steam controller was a great controller. I kind of feel like I liked the Steam controller trackpads more. They were circular, they were bigger. These are smaller and relegated to a less like central location. You're gonna have your thumbs on the thumbsticks or the buttons. You're not gonna really have them on the trackpads. So they're not like you're not gonna rest them on the trackpads. Probably you're gonna have them on the thumbsticks and then maybe move them down like that when you want to use the trackpad. But you're not gonna like default to having them on the trackpad. So I feel like they moved the trackpads down to put the thumbsticks in the kind of center point, but I think that that was probably because of market research they received or feedback they received from the Steam controller, where people were just like not using the trackpads that much or not using the controller because they didn't like the trackpads that much, which I kind of understand because it's like, I think it was a good, a generally interesting idea, a good idea. But I also feel like a D-pad is, a great thing to have. You don't want to only have a left trackpad, and having a right analog stick is a great thing to have. You don't want to only have a right trackpad. And the upside of this is that now you have more control options, so you can put stuff like menu options on the trackpads. You can put the D-pad on the trackpad and use the D-pad for macros, or you can do more with more control options. So it's only a step up in that perspective, because it's like, even if the trackpad is not the primary tool of navigation or rotating your view, or a primary input device on the Steam Deck, it even just having both the right thumbstick and a trackpad gives you more input options to thereby make your device or make your gameplay stronger, because you have more options, you have more things you can tweak as the player. So anyway, heavily recommend the Steam Deck. Really, I love it. But that's me and who I am, and the devices I've owned that have honed me, that have honed the blade that is my life into the kind of person whose life I have. Whatever it appeals to me specifically. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the Steam Deck is a great device. Heavily recommend it. Anyway, this has been fun. We'll pick this up tomorrow. How about that? Same time tomorrow, 5 p.m. We'll work on this more and see if we can push out another build of Airdrift, and keep it pushing. We'll keep this going, and make it even more fun and more interesting to play around with. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLune, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time. How about that? Yeah, thank you very much. Really enjoy streaming everything I've been doing so far. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the flip side later. And thank you very much. If you want to support development, please check out Patreon, Itch, and Steam in the links in the description. Check out Action Button Reviews. Why not? See ya. Check out Bakuno Hiru Natsumi or whatever, whichever review he did like just recently. Check out that review, because he's a good reviewer. Tim, not Tim Brown. What's his name? I'm Action Button Reviews. Whatever. Welcome to video games. See ya.